If my wife wanted to buy something, she doesn't come and tell me that she wants to get something. She comes and asks me for support.
A lot of coaches that have come in and like want to do like a low ticket offer, and their thought process is always like, I'm gonna do a low ticket offer so then I can ascend them into high ticket. That does not work.
When I send you over a calendar link to book a call on my calendar and you don't book it, then what? My hands are tied. I have to be like, could you not find a time that worked for you? Just checking in with you. It just feels so awkward. Now we're double texting people and it sucks. So when we hold them accountable, it's like, all right, so in simple AR fashion, we want to provide a conversational based video versus some course that you get to watch because, well, we want this to be fun. We want to be able to use different examples. And we want you to be able to take action with this. In this video, the first thing we're going to talk about is the 5 biggest mistakes coaches make when it comes to closing people on the call. I think this is very universal. We've had a lot of coaches come into the workshops. We talk about this a little bit, and usually at least every single person is doing at least one of them.
Most likely 2.
More than likely 2, but at least one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that goes from the coaches doing less than $5,000 a month to the coaches doing $100,000, because even your team needs to follow these same rules. We have to hold that standard. So let's start off with the number 1. What's number 1? 5 biggest mistakes coaches make when it comes to closing.
Number 1 is not collecting cash on the call.
So when somebody's not collecting cash on the call, realistically what that means is either you're sending a link to somebody, right? Or you're like, yeah, let me know when you pay, or yeah, when we get off here, send me Venmo, like something you're doing, but you're not going, okay, payment now, boom, and collecting it. I don't care if that's in Stripe. I prefer that you do it inside AR so that we can track all the data automatically. But we need to collect payment on phone. Why is that important?
Because you're holding that person accountable to what they say. You're not letting them just go and say, okay, cool, I'll talk to you when you sign up. Like, you are gonna know right away on the phone if they're ready to go or if they're not. If you just send the link and you're like, all right, cool, like, I'll talk to you later, 90% of the time they're not gonna actually take that action. So you're just setting the expectations of what they're going to do. You're holding them accountable to the promises they made themselves, and you're making it easy for them to get started.
One of the big mistakes I think we make often is we pass the ball and the ball is no longer in our court. When I send you over a calendar link to book a call on my calendar and you don't book it, then what? My hands are tied. I have to be like, could you not find a time that worked for you? Just checking in with you. Hey, are you going to book the call? Like, it just feels so awkward. Now we're double texting people and it sucks.
Yeah.
So when we hold them accountable, it's like, hey, what's your time zone? What's your email? What's your telephone number? I got Thursday at 3 or 7. Which one works for you? Cool, I'll do that now. Versus like send the link and then it's like you have to double text and follow up. So it's laziness. Inconvenience actually turns into you're now balls in their court, you have to wait for them to take action. Same thing happens with the link. When you send over the payment link, it is now on them when they're going to choose to pay you. And that's why we don't want to do that. We want to instantly take action. And we do have an onboarding process. So it's very important that we collect money over the phone because there's so many moving pieces to getting you onboarded. And so for you, I think as a coach, you should have an onboarding process. And it's not just, yeah, we're going to communicate back and forth. It's like, no. I collect payment now. I make sure that you get access to the app. I make sure that you get the 2 forms I need you to fill out. And then I'm going to book this onboarding call with you.
Yes.
And so it's like, this is my order of operations on how my business runs. So I don't send links. Because they're like, can you send me a link? I'm like, no, I collect money now. And then I have an onboarding process.
And I think a lot of coaches put too much trust in the person to take action. And people are like so likely just like, yeah, I'll get to it. Because sometimes they just want to get you off the phone. And they're just like, okay, cool. Like, send me the link, I'll get it done today. It's like, no, like you're having that like moment with them where you're like, you're going to either do this or you're not.
Why do people send the link?
Because it's easier. They're afraid to actually like open up the payment link. They're afraid to take the card over the phone.
Yeah. Because they think, well, I don't know if people trust me to do that. And it's like, share your screen then.
Share your screen, go into an incognito window.
Like in AR alone, we've collected over $5 million by collecting 16 digits at a time. But here's the best way to start. If that is you and you have the insecurity, let me help you here. Whenever we go, okay, so you decide to do this program, great. I just need to get your information. So I'm going to confirm your email that we're going to use for get you set up. Boom, I got your email and telephone number. All right, so let's just start here. What is your billing zip code for the card you're going to use today? Great, that's 75025. Beautiful. All right, 16 digits when you're ready.
Yeah.
You start with the easy stuff, and then we back our way into the 16 digits.
Yeah. It's also like when you're sharing your screen, it's an opportunity to build trust with that person too. And like as a coach, you're coaching these people. So you want to build that trust at all times during the sales process, during the closing, during the collection.
Yeah.
And I even say on the call, like, hey, I'm going to open up an incognito window, so I'm not taking your information. I'm sharing my screen so you know what I'm doing. And they're just like, okay, cool. And then they see the actual price and they're just like, okay, cool, that's what we're getting. We're avoiding confusion for a lot of these people.
Number 2, what's the second biggest mistake coaches make when it comes to closing?
Not booking a call from a call.
So we basically have the call, they say, I need to think about it, and then we're not having that second call booked.
Or they gotta say, I gotta talk to my spouse.
Sure, right? So it's like, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
How do we handle that here at AR?
Yeah. So the way we handle it is if they say like, hey, I gotta think about it, I jokingly ask the question, okay, what do you gotta think about? And that brings their guard down a lot. But if it's, I gotta talk to my spouse, I always ask them, okay, cool, when are you gonna talk to them? And then they're like, well, I'll probably talk to them at dinner tonight. And then I'll ask the question, cool, what do they need to know? And they'll say something like, well, they want to know the investment. They want to know like what I'm getting. And I always ask, how are you going to respond to that? Because what you're doing right here is you're actually turning into coaching them how to have that conversation. Because if you think about it, if a wife wants to sign up for coaching and then she goes to her husband and she's like, hey, I want to sign up for coaching. It's 6 months for $3,600. The husband's going to be like, okay, what do you get? She's like, well, I think I get like macros and then like a workout plan. And he goes like, can't you get that on ChatGPT? And she's like, immediately she turtles up. She doesn't want to respond to it. So you have to coach your client on how to have that conversation and remind them of their why. So when they get those objections or those questions, they know how to respond to them. You are preparing them for that conversation. And then the last thing I do is I set the expectation of when we're going to talk next and what the outcome is going to be. So earlier today, I booked a follow-up call for Friday. Had that exact same process, and I said, cool, Friday at 10 a.m., are we going to know if we're moving forward, yes or no? She's like, yep, that sounds good. I sent the follow-up calendar invite. She confirmed it on the call. Good to go.
All right, so what I like to do, that same concept is, hey, you're going to talk to them this evening? Great, we go through all those details. Cool, how's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.? Does that work for you? Like, you don't need 3 days to talk to your spouse. You need 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If I talk to you at 10 a.m., and then you're like, yeah, my husband gets home at noon. Cool, so can we jump back on at 5 this evening? Like, shorten the gap. Don't give them 3 days to think about it. I always make the joke, everybody wants to lose weight when they look in the mirror and they change their mind when they walk past the pantry. Don't give your client or prospect the opportunity to walk past that pantry. But I'll give you if you get nothing from this video, get this right here. You ready? If you are selling to women, if my wife wanted to buy something, she doesn't come and tell me that she wants to get something. She comes and asks me for support.
Yeah.
I want to get this thing. I want you to support me in it. Will you support me in it? And I have to say yes before I can ask how much it is. And so here's my advice to you. If you sell to women, like, you really want to move forward with this program, you just have to basically talk to your husband and make sure that it's a good fit for him too, right? Cool. All right. Can I give you some advice? And if you're woman to woman, say this. If I want my man to do something with me and it means a lot to me, I don't ask for permission, I ask for support. And so what I look like is, babe, I really want to have this program and just have to go with this amazing coach. Will you support me on me doing this and give me your full support and trust here? And then he's going to go, yeah. And then you go, how much is it? And then you basically say, well, it's $500 a month or it's $2,500 for 6 months. We save money if we go with the big one. So it's like, now it's no longer about the price, it's about support, and this is the cost, but support was established first. Remember, 90% of the time when you sell to women, you're not selling to the woman, you're selling to the man. Because that's usually that's the main focus, is how do you get them to portray it to their spouse so that they feel supported, not like it's permission.
Yep. And remember, at the end of the day, like, you're a coach. You want to use this as an opportunity to coach and to build trust with this client, because that's just going to make that experience so much better when they are ready to sign up with you and coach with you.
Number 3.
Number 3 is it's having a confusing offer.
Confusing offer. I love this one. Everybody that comes to a workshop, you get essentially 1 to 2 calls with me before you actually come into the workshop. And I typically dive over 2 things. The first one going to be, who's your ideal client? Who are you trying to target, right?
Yeah.
Messaging is what's missing, which is my #1 slogan. Well, one of them, I guess.
You got a lot of
I
slogans.
got a lot of them. We've been doing this too long, they don't have phrases, you know?
Exactly.
The second one is, what is your offer?
Yeah.
Because if I get you more people on the phone, what are you pitching them? How confusing is it? Going back to what we just talked about, you have to relay this to your spouse.
Yep.
So if you have 6 different prices with 6 different term lengths and 6 different packages, how in the world are they going to remember that to say that to their spouse when you can't ever remember it and you have to read it off a sheet of paper?
Yeah.
So if you keep it super stupid simple, it makes it so easy. And this is what we always teach. My program is a 6-month commitment. It's $500 a month. Insert whatever price. It's $500 a month. You can purchase 6 months up front and save a full month and save $500 for $2,500. Most people go with the savings. Which one do you want to do? It becomes very simple, very easy, and you have to be able to do it in a conversational way. But what I've established here is that I have a 6-month commitment. My program package is $500 a month. I'm incentivizing you if you want to purchase 6, but really the program is $500 a month. I'm incentivizing for 6. I make a say that most people do this, red pill or blue pill.
And that's really important because you need to make the recommendation for that person of what they should do. Because if you give them too many options and then they're just like, all right, what does this one include? And what does this one include? And like I've seen coaches have like those like breakdown menus, like they're a software company and it's like,
Yes.
Here's the freemium tier, here's the base, here's the platinum tier. And it's just like you're looking line by line by line and it's like,
It's
you've lost
pretty.
them.
The problem is that it's confusing.
It's so confusing.
And when you have more than 3 offers and then you have like, well, I've got a 3-month, a 6-month, a 9-month, or a 12-month, like that's 4 different options to choose from of 4 different rates. And it's like, well,
Yep.
should I save up and come back later so I can get a better value?
Yeah.
Or should I just start here now?
Yeah.
Or this is what I've seen before would be the packages are completely different.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a 3-month, a 6-month, a 12-month. This one comes with calls, this one comes with blood work, and this one comes with group calls.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I really think I need the blood work, but I want the one-on-one, but this doesn't come with, and so now we're having to like hodgepodge put things together.
Oh yeah, they always ask to like move things around. You're
Yes.
like, no, that's not how it works.
And it's like now you're having to basically explain your offer.
Yeah.
Instead of them making a decision A or B, red pill, blue pill, they
Yeah.
have to decide, well, do I want red, green, yellow, or purple? Here's a different example. If I laid out 5 different protein flavors to you, and I said, okay, so here's a 2-pound, a 5-pound, a 10-pound, a 7-pound, and then they all have different prices and they're all different flavors, and I go, okay, which one do you want? And you're like, man, 2 pounds of vanilla, it's safe, it's easy, I like it, but the better value is on the cookies and cream, but it's 5. I just don't know if I'm gonna like it, and that's a lot of cookies and cream. But I'm a really big pumpkin spice, but I don't know that I want 7 pounds of pumpkin spice. It is the best value though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the problem is that you have too many options with too many different variants. But if I had all the same proteins, 5 different flavors, it would be a little bit easier to make a decision, but you're still having to think and make a decision. But if I said, hey, I have 2 flavors. I have vanilla or chocolate. Which one you want? I'll take chocolate. Perfect.
Yeah.
I've got a monthly or a 6-month. Which one do you want? I'll take the monthly. Perfect. I got a 6-month or a 12-month. Which one do you want? Perfect. Now the other caveat to this, that it's not a duration difference in the packages between A and B offer. It is a package difference, which means both my programs are 6 months. One is 400 a month, one is 600 a month. And there is like 1 to 2 very basic differences between those programs. You cannot change duration and type of package.
Key.
So that is the key. So it's the exact same duration. They're both 6 months. They're both paid in full, or they're both monthly, whatever it may be. But we establish that and then we can figure out payments. But it's like I've got calls weekly and I have a call once a month. The difference is $200 per month in the package. Which one do you want to do? I don't think that you need weekly calls, but if you feel like you do, let's go with those. But I don't think you do, so I would go with the cheaper option here.
Yeah. And
Great, I'll do that.
Like a really good example of this is like our coaches that have come in where they also have an assistant coach and they have a different price to work with them versus working with an assistant coach. It's the same duration. It's just like, hey, it's $800 a month to work with me versus it's $500 a month to work with my assistant coach. It's very binary for people. Very
Binary
simple.
being keyword, I need to be this or that. If you just have one offer, the binary option is what? Yes or no.
Yeah.
I don't want yes or no, I want A or B. And so I don't want C included. And there's plenty of studies show this, but I'll give you another example in real life. And like this should be the end all be all. I'm like, well, Mike doesn't know what we're talking about. Walmart does. Walmart will not let you put a product into their store unless you have minimum 2 SKUs. You have to have vanilla chocolate or this chocolate and this. But they want to have 2 options so that you don't go, do I want this brand? Yes or no.
Yeah.
It's which flavor of this brand do I want?
Yeah. I'm going to add one more thing too, because we have a lot of coaches that have come in and like want to do like a low ticket offer, and their thought process is always like, this is, I guess, a bonus thing for you guys. I'm going to do a low ticket offer so then I can ascend them into high ticket. That does not work.
In theory, it does. But in
theory.
practicality, it doesn't.
Exactly.
And it doesn't work inside the fitness space, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It works in B2B. You're not in B2B.
Yes.
I'm in B2B. If
Yeah.
I sold you 1,000 hooks for $97, you would be more inclined to learn more about what we do because you watch this video and go, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me get their CRM system.
Yep.
But when it comes to a $27 workout program, and then you're going to ascend them, they have to actually implement the workout program and see results. The whole point that they're overweight is because they don't implement anything, even when they can get it for free from ChatGPT.
Yep.
And so what it requires is accountability, and you do not provide accountability for $27. So the thought of you ascending somebody and what it actually does is devalues what you actually deliver, because a workout program for $27, but a custom one's $300, I don't see the difference on why it's $270 more because you made it custom for me.
And people will sign up, they'll think low ticket's easy. It's not, unless you have a massive brand like low ticket just doesn't work.
If you're
So-
watching this at this point, like we've probably already discussed low ticket.
Yeah.
Or you didn't sign up with us because that's what you wanted to do. And we said, hey, we're not a good fit for you because I don't think you see our point and vision.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, somebody that sold $238,000 worth of, or orders worth of coffee, 10 million in sales, selling something for $16 to get to scale is a lot of work. That's just as many customer service emails. That's so many packages going out. I would rather have sold a higher level premium service that was $100 instead of $17.
Yep.
So that I could actually have better quality clients and not have to sell as many. Because if you have 1,000 people paying you $10, 10 grand, right? 10 people paying you $1,000 sounds crazy. So much easier to actually do.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 10 people to pay you $1,000 a month. You don't think you can, but let me tell you something. How many people on a platform have sold 1,000 people ever, period? Michael Smoke, maybe?
Yeah.
With 3 million followers, who's one of the...
Adam Bunnell too, with how many? Is he
Spending-
even at?
He spends tens of thousands of, hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads.
Yeah.
So it's like, to be able to have that many people buy something from you takes so much ungodly volume that you don't understand the amount of work that's required. You're not gonna make a post and every time you post, you're gonna get 10 people to buy your low ticket thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
4.
Number 4, not handling objections before the close.
So
One
not
of my
handling
favorite
objections
ones.
before the close. Yeah, so what we basically is let's break out the entire sales call, right? You've got the discovery portion, which is gonna make a majority of the actual call itself, finding out who they are, what they're trying to do, their goals, etc., their pain points, and why they haven't actually achieved the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we have the actual pitch itself. And then we have where we're either doing onboarding and or objection handling if they say no.
Yep.
Okay, which is like 15% of the call, 15% in the actual pitch itself, and then let's just say 70% is in the discovery portion. So we have the objection, and then we have the obstacle. When we don't cover the obstacle in the beginning, it will come up as an objection later.
Yep.
So give me an example of an objection that we could handle if we ask the right questions to tackle the obstacle before it came
Yeah.
up.
Now it's not the right time for me to get started.
Okay, so what question should you ask in the beginning to prevent them from saying, now it's not a good time for me?
Yeah, so simple questions you want to ask is like, why is this a priority for you right now? And if you ask like specific goal questions, a lot of people will come to you as like, hey, I have this goal. And it's like, okay, so why is that a priority right now? What's changed in your life that has made you ready to find a coach for this right now?
So either find something that's pain-oriented, goal-oriented,
Yeah.
something that says now is now, and then we are verbalizing that they want to do this now, not
Yes.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if they do say, I really just want to go, I want to do this, but I want to get started in 2 weeks from now, what would you say to that person in that discovery phase?
If they give me a goal of like a specific date that they're going for, what I always do is I work backwards from that goal. And so if we have a process that we take as a coach and we know that, okay, so we've got to do, let's say, a 1 month like metabolic reset, and then we go into like a fat loss phase, and then we want to go into reverse dieting. We actually take that end date that they've said and work backwards from there. And if they're like, oh, well, I got this vacation coming up, so I think I'm going to wait till it gets back. It's like, okay, cool. So we're delaying a month, and that means that next month you would get started, and then you'd be another 2 months down the road before you're even actually seeing the results. Whereas if you started now, the vacation that comes up, we can make a plan around it. We can get you started. We can get some momentum. When you come back, we're right into that phase, and we're going from there. So we're hitting towards that goal. And I think a lot of coaches are afraid to work backwards from those to hold those people accountable to like the goals that they've set for themselves.
I think also too, when we start to really set the future. So like, what's your 6-month goal, your 1 year
Yes.
goal, your 2 year goal? What I'm doing is I'm breaking outside of this 12-week window. Because if you say that your goal from 2 years from now, and it's like, so if our goal is 2 years from now of like, you want to lose 100 pounds over the next 2 years, why would we wait? Because are you not gonna have another vacation for the next 2 years? Are you not gonna have a family function, a birthday, a New Year's Eve, a Christmas, a Thanksgiving? It's like, we need to be able to handle that now, because in my opinion, Sarah, you don't need a coach when life is good. You need a coach when life happens, and going on vacation is life happening for you, and we need to work together to get through it so that you can enjoy the process, because now I can show you that we can achieve goals. And how great is it gonna feel that you're seeing progress while on the beach when you never thought that could be the case? How's that to start a program?
Yeah.
And they go, you're right, I like that.
The other thing that just came to my mind too is a good question to ask is like, when you ask them, you know, why is like now the right time? You can almost go one layer deeper, is like, how many times have you said now is the right time to get started? And how many times have you fallen off? And then you can start to be like, okay, so here's how we can make this time different. So what you're doing there is you're collecting information. Hey, Mrs. Jones, you've fallen off these 10 times because you've tried this, you've tried this, you've tried this. And then when you go into your pitch, you're handling that objection. But hey, I know you've fallen off 10 times before, and here's what's happened. I see that all or nothing mindset go in. Here's actually the approach that we take so that we're ensuring you're not falling off. So that this time is that final time where you say, now is the time. So what you're doing is you're collecting all of that information, all of those obstacles inside of the discovery. You can handle the financial one in a really, really good way. I always tell people, start asking about their eating habits.
How often you go out to eat? Where do you eat? You'd be like, and then you throw out a number. So you probably spend like 50, 60 bucks at Starbucks every week.
Yeah.
And you go out to eat. How often do you get lunch? Cool, you get a salad. What's that, like $12, $13? You do that 4 times a week? Well, that's $240 right there a month just in salads. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just actually spending quite a bit on food. You're like me, you're a foodie. Make it funny, correlate.
Yeah.
Like, be relatable. And all of a sudden now we get to use that as ammunition. That's the key word I want you to grab here, ammunition. If we don't ask the questions first to handle the obstacle, then when the objection comes, you don't have any bullets.
Yep.
So you got to have ammunition. Well, you said it's expensive, and it's like, well, if we did the math, actually you'll save money by us making a few adjustments on how you actually go out to eat so that we can do this.
Yeah.
Again, the obstacle is asking, do you have a spouse? Do you have a job? Are you ready now? All the things that are your most common objections, we ask before the objection comes, because the last thing you want to find out is that they're married and they have to talk to their spouse, the last thing they say on the phone. And you're like,
Yep.
I thought this was a drop. It's going to be very frustrating. You're like, I thought I had this one.
Yeah.
And then boom, they have to then go talk. And so it's like, we could have handled that prior.
Yeah.
We also could have been like, so they know that you're on this call. Great. They support you in making this decision. Yes. Do they need to be a part of the conversation for you to make a decision if you like what I do today? They do need to be part of the decision. Okay. Are they there by chance? Would it be important for them to show up to the call? They're not here? Okay. Are you confident thinking that you can relay this information to them? It's like, no. Like, when would they be available?
Yep.
It's like, depending on the vibe you get, but you can carry conversation. Because I've had conversations with some women. I'd be like, do you need to discuss? Like, no, I don't need to discuss. Okay, cool. It's your business. Let's roll.
There are some like that. I love those ones. They're just
Of
like,
course.
yeah, I'm doing this.
There's nothing more awesome than a woman's like, I don't need to talk to my husband.
Yeah. But going back to it, when you're handling those obstacles up front, you're collecting all that information and all that ammunition, as you were saying. And then when you're in the actual pitch and you're talking about your process, you're just firing those bullets off of.
Yes.
You're overcoming every objection in the pitch, and you're basically just getting out front of everything. And when you handle all of those objections in the pitch, it becomes a very logical next step. So it's like, all right, cool, you ready to get started?
So what he's trying to say is, like, here's an example. So Sarah, I know that you said you travel a lot for work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build you out actually a custom plan that you could eat on the road and give you the hotel workouts that you need. Now, we're probably not gonna work out every time that you're on the road because I know you got those crazy dinners and they run late and you gotta take those people out, but it's really important way to stay on track.
Yep.
So I'm gonna tell you what you should eat and how we should order on those so that you can stay on track, because I know that's been your biggest downfall. Do you think that's gonna be helpful for you if I can lay all that out and make it easy for you to execute? Great. What I took is your pain points, your goals, your problems, threw them into the pitch of how I'm going to build something custom for you to make it work, and then I lead into the price. So I'm basically saying, if you said that your goal was to be a great father, I'm going to help you become Superman to your kid so that you can do X, Y, Z because your old man wasn't to you. I'm going to pitch it so that it fits your goals in the pitch itself so that it is layered. It's not, these are your goals, this is what I do. It's, these are your goals, and this is how I'm going to support you with what I do.
And one thing that he did right there, if you guys didn't catch it, he did a micro close. So anytime you handle like those objections up front, you say like the Sarah for her travel, you get commitment that that's going to work for her. That's a micro close on those objections.
And what the micro close there is like, do you feel like that's going to work for you? Do you like that idea and concept? Yes, great. It's just one more yes.
Yep.
Because if they said no, we have to stop because the objections, we have to come back and address it. Well, what would actually make this easier for you? Like in your mind, what are you envisioning you think that would be the easiest for you?
Yep.
Because when you tell me what you want, then I deliver what you want, right? So it's like we sell them what they want, give them what they need.
Yep.
What's
Yep.
number 5?
Number 5 is listing monthly as an option, not a favor.
Yeah, so if you're a person that is selling PIFs only, right, which we're not a giant fan of, right? We like
What's our rule?
we love a good reoccurring revenue, right? Your reoccurring revenue should cover all your bills.
Yep.
If it doesn't cover your bills, you have to wake up every single month and go, I got to start from zero. Like we literally just had a client hit her best month ever, $57,000. And then she comes to me and texts me 3 days later going, I had to start from zero this month. It sucks. And I'm like, well, your mentality there is wrong, okay? It doesn't suck. You just did $57,000. Let's have a little bit of grace for ourselves. And it was your best month ever. But you're viewing it as it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. So if you're a person that stresses in that nature and you don't like a lot of risk inside your business and you don't like having to take sales calls at 7 p.m. on a Friday because you feel like you have to make the sale, then you want to set up more of a recurring business. And my analogy earlier, $500 a month, $2,500 for 6, this will establish more recurring revenue inside the business. If you need or want more cash flow in the business because you're going to utilize it for something, then we're not going to be growing the business except taking that money hopefully and then investing it back into the business. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to just pocket it. However, you would pitch a 6 or 12 month. Now, not everybody can afford a 6 or 12 month, but we don't mention the monthly. But the mistake that happens is that let's say that you charge $3,000 for 6 months. And they go, is that paid in full? And you say, yes. And they go, well, I can't afford $3,000. And then you go, well, I do have a monthly option. First of all, what do you mean you have a monthly option? Why didn't you tell me that to begin with?
Yep.
And then you say, but it's $600 a month. But like, so it's more expensive? Well, it's like, no, if you buy 6 months up front, it's discounted. And it's like, is it though? Because you never said that and never established it. So the first example, $500 a month, remember what I said? I'm incentivizing you if you purchase 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
If you establish a 6-month price and a 12-month price, and then you throw in the monthly after they say you can afford it, you're actually penalizing them if you raise the price because they're broke. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't afford $3,000 for 6 months at $500 a month? Well, it's going to be $600 if you can't afford that. And then that makes them go, well, shit, I guess I'm just going to wait until I can afford the 6 months. And so you have less people actually buy the monthly. And this is where it's like you have to have people affirm or things like that, which I'm not a huge fan or believer in. But this concept is we want to give it as a favor. And the favor is not an option. The difference between options is like, it's a 6 or 12 month, cool, do you have a monthly option? I do, but it's $600 a month. That is an option. Versus a favor would be, let's actually role play it. You ready?
Okay, let's do it.
So I've got the 6 months for $3,000, or I have the 12 months for $5,500. You'll save $500 if you go with the 12 months, but which one do you want to do?
Well, I can't really afford the 6 months. Can you do like, can we break that into monthlies?
Monthly payments?
Yeah.
Man, I normally don't unless you complete a 6 or 12 month program, right? And to be honest with you, like, I don't know that you're going to follow the program. I don't know that you're going to do the things required to make it happen. I don't know if you're going to ghost me in 4 weeks, but I'll tell you what, I'll do the monthly option. I'll break it out to where it's $500 a month, and it's still a 6 month commitment. But I want a verbal commitment right now that you're going to give me your all. No, like, I want you to tell me more. I'm going to give you my all, Mike. I'm going to go in. I'm going to achieve this goal.
I'm going to give you my all, Mike. I'm going to go in. I'm going to achieve this goal.
All right, well, let's get started.
So, monthly? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Here's my card.
It is a favor with body language versus like, here's an option. It's like, well, why didn't you tell me that option to begin with?
Yeah.
Versus like, I normally don't do this. Because you normally don't. It's a 6 or 12 month thing. But if you're going to break it out into the monthly, it can't just be like, yeah, boom. It's like, well, that's an option. Favors always perform better. Because when I say, man, I normally don't do this, man, but I don't want finances to be the reason that you actually can't do this. I know how important it is for you to be basically the leader you're trying to be for not only your job, but your family and your wife. And I'm not gonna let money stop you from doing that, dude, because I like you, right? And you wanna do this, right? You wanna work with me, you wanna make this happen? So I normally don't do it unless you complete a 6 to 12 month, but I'll break it out into $500 payments. But I want a verbal commitment. I want you to tell me that you're gonna give me your all.
Yeah.
That feels way different. And somebody's like, man, I appreciate you doing that for me, man. That means so much to me that you're gonna go out on a limb for me, because I am going on a limb for you. So that's the difference between an option versus a favor. If you do PIFs only, we do favor, not options.
Yep.
But I'm gonna suggest that most coaches don't do the 6 or 12, that they go with a monthly or 6.
Yeah. And like he said, PIFs only, like if you guys do PIFs only, like that's when this one applies the most.
Yeah.
And a really good thing that's like a note here is because we talk so much about having MRR and like building your bills, if you get to that point where your MRR is built and you're like, all right, I got my MRR, I want to see how far I can go, like that's when you lead. Like that's a really good time to lead with PIFs only. And that's when you can use this to also get some MRR in, because if you're taking a shot at going for the PIF first, like you never know unless you ask.
Yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots on goal you never take.
That's right.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. So you want to give yourself those shots to say, how far can I go to build the business? Because that's also money that you can then reinvest in your business. That's money that you can then spend to come to a workshop with AR. Like, we have to give ourselves those at-bats.
Yeah, there are times, like you need to hire somebody, but you need to have money in the business to do so. Or maybe you got to pay taxes. Like there are seasons where you need cash flow inside the business.
Yep.
And so you don't need cash flow if you have a good recurring business. Mm-hmm. Because typically you don't outspend what you don't have in your bank account, and you don't have in your bank account until it hits every single month.
Yep.
So it's just a difference of how risk tolerant are you, how good at money management are you, and then how good are you at just being consistent as a whole.
Yep.
So feast or famine months are tough on a lot of people. They're really tough on me. And so what we do is like, I pay myself a set salary every single month, no matter how the company does, because it would be like big 1 month, lesser 1 month, big 1 month, less. And like, I don't want that anxiety. I've done that. Yeah. Most coaches don't want that. They want something consistent where I know This is what my mortgage is. I can afford this car payment. I can give my wife X amount of money. I can buy my kids X amount of this. And it becomes very easy to fulfill. And so a few ways you can do this. You want to build MRR? Here's a few extra bonus things for you. PIF until your bills are paid. Force the reoccurring after that. So for example, if you need to get to where your bills are $5,000 a month, you sell 2 people at $2,500, great. The next 4 sales calls that you have, you force a reoccurring, 500 a month, 500 a month, 500 a month, 500 a month. And then next month, you start it back over. PIF until bills are paid, reoccurring, reoccurring, reoccurring. I would also suggest that the term length, when it comes up to time, 6 months is over with the person you're working with, switch them over to a monthly instead of asking them to pay all the money up front again.
Yes. Huge.
Because
Huge
then
for that.
you've already built the trust, the relationship is there, and then typically what I'd like to do is instead of going from like, you know, $3,000 for 6 months, let's say at $500 a month, I won't go to straight $500 a month. I prefer to do something like $400 a month.
Yeah.
You actually can pull a little bit of what you give them away.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we don't think we need the calls anymore, so we'll go to calls as needed.
Yeah.
So you're going to save money, but now it's just $400 a month. So now you don't have to pay $3,000. And the conversation is not actually a hard close conversation.
No, it's not at all.
Hey, your program's coming up in 6 months. I know we just talked about, you know, in October, which is 9 weeks from now, you plan on doing X, Y, and Z. So this is what I'll do. Instead of making you pay the 6 months up front again, like you can, but why don't we just go down to $400 a month? We'll go to calls as needed instead of bi-weekly. It'd become easier for you. I don't think you need it. You'll save some money, and we'll just do $400 on card on file. Does that work for you?
And it's a really good way to build LTV of customers, but also like we look at something like that, like those are very, very valuable people in your community that will help like bring up other ones, help bring referrals to you. So like leverage that and use it as a very smart way to build MRR.
Well, dude, I thought this was great.
Yeah, we need to do more of this.
If you guys liked it, let us know. If you have other videos you'd like for us to make, please actually just comment them below, or you can DM me directly on Instagram. I'd love to be able to make those. But again, my name is Mike Crowson, the CEO and co-founder of AR Funnel.
I'm Dan Effinger, head of sales for AR Funnel.
We appreciate you guys. God bless.